All right, Taurus, welcome to your monthly horoscope for May of 2015. My name is Athen. So let's go and look at your chart this month. We've got the full moon here on the 3rd in your 6th house. So we had this new moon last month in your 12th. So around that time, maybe, it's been a time of relaxation, of rest, of tranquility, of going within, of spending some time maybe working behind the scenes, all these things relating to 12th house, very spiritual house. It's the end of the Zodiac. So with that new moon, this can be a culmination of a lot of these things. And that culmination point in the 6th house is about health. It's about growth. It's about vibrance. It's about taking a lot of this spiritual stuff and applying it in a very grounded sense. That's what the 6th house is. It's about that growth. So this can be a culmination point of perhaps anything you've been involved with your work or routine or daily activities or your health even for the past 6 months since we had the new moon in that 6th house of yours. But it can be that, but it can also be over the past 2 weeks, anything that you did start with the rest and relaxation. It can be a high point of that and an understanding of that. So reflect around the 3rd in regards to the health and the growth and the self-improvement relating to the importance of rest and relaxation and all these other things that are 12th house related. That's going to be the high point for you here on the 3rd. Now let's go ahead and look at the 6th, because your ruler Venus shifts signs, goes into your 2nd house. So your 1st house is going to be very active this month, but it slowly starts to build up. Before that happens, your ruler Venus goes into your 2nd. So for this whole month from the 6th onward, your ruler in the 2nd house is that this is a fantastic time for you to be working with the financial side of things or the material side of things, to enjoy the simple pleasures of life and the simple enjoyments, to take things slow here, of course, like you Taurans naturally do, and just to enjoy it, to enjoy those things that invoke the senses. So that's going to be the energy for you all month. And so I really recommend, especially with the Geminian qualities, because when she gets into Gemini here, this is going to be very much about thinking, just like it normally is. You Taurans know how to work, and you're very intelligent about the material elements, which is your sign. The 2nd house is your house. So you understand it, you're very practical with it, and this is exactly what you want to be involved with. I think you'll find it very flowing, and I think you'll find it very enjoyable as well. So fantastic time for that stuff when you're finding that middle path and working with it in that practical way. And staying balanced with it too, staying balanced with the financial side of things, material side of things, but enjoying yourself in the process. Now, the next major event is going to be around the 10th when we have Mars go into your 1st house. So like I was saying, your 1st house is very much being activated. You're going to have Mars there on the 10th onward. Mercury retrograde in that 1st house of yours. Mercury is already there now at the early part of this month. So I think you're thinking about your goals, your ambitions, drives, about yourself, what your capabilities are, what you can achieve, how you can assert yourself, all of these things. And that's been your mental sphere. But now with Mars going in here, this is where things really start to get active. Mars is about action, energy, and drive. And so with him in your 1st house, this is a good action available for you to pursue your goals, your drives, your ambitions. And just like I was saying last month, there is this interesting dynamic of your chart with all this activity going on in your 3 major houses. Your 12th house, which is where you still have this new moon energy at this time. Your 1st house, where you have this action and understanding with Mercury. And then your 2nd house, your 12th, 1st, and 2nd, where you have your ruler. So this really highlights the 2nd, but this really highlights the 1st, and that new moon really highlights the 12th. So it's all about this reflection, relaxation, yet going forward and moving forward and asserting yourself, yet thinking about and just overall working with the material elements of life, you see, and that's going to be the overall theme. But with all this energy in your 1st house, I think it's certainly going to be activated, and that happens right when, I think you'll be feeling it very strongly around the 10th when Mars goes in here. Mars likes to take action, so this is a nice house placement for Mars. Now let's go ahead and jump to the next major event. On the 17th, we've got the new moon. Now, what's interesting about this new moon is that it's happening very close to the house cusps. And so technically it's in your 12th, but it's right on the cusp between your 1st and your 12th, okay, depending on how you cast the chart even too. So that is, again, I think it's still about understanding how important it is for you to have that spiritual element, that presence and flow, those 12th house matters, involved with your goals, your drives, and whatever it is you're involved with. But I still think that because it's happening right there on the first house cusp, it is very assertive. It is still a very strong go time. I think you're going to be energized this month. So as long as you find that nice balance between the 12th and the 1st, then I think your energy level should be very good. I think you can get a lot done this month, and your mind should be sharp. You should be thinking very, very straightforward. Now, that's on the 17th when we have that new moon, so reflect around that time in terms of those things around the 17th. Then on the 18th and 19th, we got Mercury going retrograde in that first house. So there are some things that I think it's time for you to reflect on in regards to the first house, your self-image, your assertiveness, your courage, your confidence, the things you want to pursue in life, your ambitions. So reflect on it. This is what we want to do during a Mercury retrograde. He's going to be retrograde for about 3 weeks going into June. So for the remainder of this month, work with it, reflect on it, redo your goals, redo, your self-image even, things like that. It's an energy where you want to treat it as a learning process. You want to kind of be willing to make mistakes. Not that mistakes are necessarily going to happen. It's just that you want to treat it as a learning process and actually take the action necessary. You do want to take the action this month, but be willing to rework some things, redo some things. And in that way, you'll be learning a lot about it. And then in June, your sun will be in there, and then Mercury will be direct in there. And then so I think a lot of that reflecting that you did this month, this sort of second half of the month here, you'll understand a lot more about what it is you're doing, where you're headed, what your ambitions are, and then the energy will all be moving forward in that first house of yours. But take action. It's nothing to wait for or anything like that. This is the best utilization of Mercury retrograde. A lot of times people talk about Mercury retrograde in terms of not taking action, but it's the complete opposite. You want to take practical action and learn in the process, because that's how we learn during the Mercury periods. Now let's look at the 20th, because the 20th, your sun goes into the first house. So the sort of 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th time period, there's a lot of shifting going into your first house. And so now with the sun there joining up with Mars and Mercury, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of enjoyment that can be had moving forward with your goals, looking good, sprucing up a little bit. All these things relating to the first house. You've got Mars there energizing you. You've got Mercury there, again, thinking about these things. So very, very good for you. Very much highlighted. Then on the 27th, we've got that Mercury going over Mars again. This is the second time it's happened. The last time this happened last month was in your 12th house, which I think you were thinking and reflecting on a lot of these things that are relating to, again, the tranquility and peace in your life. But now this month, it's reflecting on what those goals are, those drives are. I think Mercury, he won't be combust because he's in a retrograde motion. So it's, because he's going to be going over the sun here on the 30th. So this whole end time period between the 27th, 28th, and 29th and 30th, he's going to be sandwiched or aspecting your Mars and your sun. So reflect on your actions, reflect on your drives, take the initiative, move forward, especially the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And around the 30th, I think you might be coming to some new insight and some new understanding that's very important about your passions in life, where you're headed, what you really enjoy, and everything relating to the things that you really want to pursue in life. It makes it very clear. It's not that you don't know, but there's things shifting and there's things changing, which will help you adjust. This is an adjustment period, you might say, this month relating to those first house matters. All right, Taurus, well, I hope you guys have a great time. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check that website down below for more information. It is different from Western astrology. You can also check the description down below. This was a very general look at the month. For a more specific month with the aspects, do check out my weekly horoscopes. And yeah, have a great time. Let me know if you have any questions. Get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.